Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here I have a great article for you guys from Yahoo Finance. I will leave a link to it in the description so you guys could check it out. So I got a breaking story for you guys that has, a part of it has to do with this article as well, and AT&T stock falling to an all-time low, or the lowest in 29 years, 3 decades. So AT&T has to respond to this. They can't allow this to keep happening moving forward. So there are a lot of growing concerns about AT&T. How do they fund this? How do they take care of the lead problem that recently came about? So AT&T will have to respond. They will have to get investors on board. They will have to satisfy them at the earnings that's coming up. So this is what I'm hearing, and this is what I'm being told. So we've recently seen the cuts that AT&T has been making in regards to the employee count, right? They've been laying people off. And while many thought that was already a quite a large amount of staff that was being cut, it's about to get worse. So this is what I'm being told is going to be the response to investors as far as the stock being as low as it is, and what could get the stock moving again in the right direction. So what I'm being told is there's about a 1 to 2 year window where AT&T is going to make drastic cuts. It's going to be temporary, but I'm hearing they're going to cut within the next year and a half. They're going to cut another 40 to 50,000 employees across the company. They are pledging to be the leanest wireless company in the industry once they are done with this next cut over the next year and a half. They will employ, according to what I'm hearing, they will employ less employees than Verizon and T-Mobile. So that's already a big statement right there, right? The free cash flow is not going to generate itself. They're pledging to get to, or guiding to get to $16 billion by the end of the year. They had a very low free cash flow quarter in the first quarter. So they have to get to that 16 billion. So there's already going to be drastic cuts happening this year. They've been cutting employees every single quarter in the last few quarters. What I'm hearing is that's going to accelerate over the next few quarters, right? They will have cut more employees in the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and so on and so forth. That's going to be, what I'm told, the first step to bringing the stock back up and getting investors, and shareholders back on board and excited. Next, over the next 2 years, I am hearing wireless cutback. Wireless capex is going to get cut significantly. In some markets, some of the C-band plans have been pushed as high as 2 years back. So 2 years, they're pushing them back. And I am being told they are not going to overlay DoD at full scale on sites that already have C-band. So they might pick and choose a few here and there depending on congestion, but they are not going to go crazy and deploy DoD on all of the sites that already have C-band. That much I have been told. So it's a very interesting time. Of course, that will be reevaluated once those 2 years are up. But I have been hearing that some of the sources have been checking, and some sites that they have been looking into don't have any C-band or DoD scheduled for like the next 10 years in terms of the forecast and the future planning. So that's very interesting, a very interesting approach by AT&T on how they're moving forward. Again, they have to make these drastic cuts in order to please investors and shareholders, to get them wanting to stick around. Because right now, most of them are selling by a lot. So AT&T has to be able to slow that down before it gets too bad. They're jeopardizing the stock getting below $10 and the market cap getting below 100 billion. That's never happened. I don't think I've never seen that low. Now, it could have been sometime in the way past, but for right now, this is a very bad situation for AT&T to be in. And that's what I'm hearing is going to be the response. I don't know if they are going to disclose this at the quarterly earnings. But if you're looking at if you look at the quarterly earnings, they have been cutting employees every single quarter for like the last 4 or 5 quarters, maybe even more. And that's what Stenky and the team, what they're looking into, right? Why do we, also pushing back the C-band deployment for a year to two in some markets? Why are we deploying C-band on sites that are already doing 200 to 300 megabits without C-band? What's the reason for it? They're not doing fixed wireless access to scale. They're doing it very smartly, very strategically where they deploy it. So why am I putting C-band on a site in the middle of nowhere that's already doing 200-300 megabits, that's already been modernized with FirstNet, doesn't need C-band or DoD? Maybe in the future, but that's years away before that slows down. So that's kind of how AT&T is looking at that. They're looking to operate very, very efficiently. They're looking to make these drastic cutbacks to get people back on board, to get the stock back into the green. And this seems to be the way to do it, right? Cut back drastically on staff, get that free cash flow back up, get the balance sheet. They got a large amount of debt to cover. Get the balance sheet back in order. And then once that's all done, then the wireless CapEx will ramp back up. That's when they will start, okay, now we can spend more. We can start deploying this. We can deploy that. We can go do this. We can build new sites. Although I've been hearing that new site builds that have been planned are still going to be deployed, but anything outside of that has been put on hold. So very interesting times at AT&T that they had to make this type of decision. Again, you can say I'm speculating. I don't have any documents. That's just what I've heard getting on a phone call this morning from a source. So again, we don't know if they'll disclose it at this quarterly earnings, but if the right questions are asked, they will get the right answers. And that's what I'm hearing. There's an email that went out internally, and where there's smoke, there's fire. So make sure you guys stay tuned for more. Like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See you in the next one. Peace.